This is Dr. Dennis Anderson. This new book, E-mini and Micro E-mini Trading, is the second edition of my first book. The market is up about 30% since I wrote that book, supporting the notion of upward price bias in stock indexes. I have updated tables, taken out some material, added more detail, and included an emphasis on the new Micro E-minis. On May 6, 2019, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the CME, made available Micro E-minis. These include 4 of the 5 E-mini stock index futures. The CME reported that more than 2.6 million Micro E-mini contracts were traded the first week they were offered. All entities traded on a major stock exchange have a string of letters and sometimes numbers that uniquely identify each one. They are called symbols or ticker symbols. Ticker symbols for the 4 Micro E-minis are MES for the S&P 500, M2K for the Russell 2000 index, MNQ for the NASDAQ 100, and the MYM for the Dow 30. There is no Micro E-mini for the Midcap 400, the EMD. The CME also reported that 11.25 million contracts of Micro E-minis were traded in the first month, an average of 511,000 contracts per day. Trading participants came from 130 countries. Contracts traded were almost 6 million of the MES, over 3.5 million of the MNQ, 1.1 million of the MYM, and 640,000 contracts traded in the M2K. This is good news as it indicates widespread acceptance of this new trading vehicle and supporting trading volume, which creates good liquidity. The regular E-minis have been an excellent alternative to stocks and ETFs for more than 15 years. Small and inexperienced traders have been appropriately hesitant to enter this trading realm because of risk associated with margins. Margins have risen in value over 30% the past 3 years. These Micro E-minis then are a way to enter the futures arena with much less exposure and risk. There are many advantages. There's nearly 24-hour access to trading the stock market. You can trade on margin without having to pay interest charges to a brokerage house for use of these margin funds. The ease of shorting the market, easier reporting of taxes, and favorable tax treatment. Trading costs are also much lower than buying stocks or other products through a regular broker. These micros are a stepping stone for those who want to learn without too much risk and those who might be interested in eventually trading the E-minis. Always trade in a practice account before putting real money at risk. This is where you can make real-life trades with imaginary dollars. Micro E-minis are valued at 1/10 the value of the regular E-minis, so your margin requirements could be as low as $700 for one contract, and you could begin trading with only about $1,500 to $2,000 in your account. This means instead of a trader risking $50 a point in the ES and $20 a point on the NQ, they can make or lose $5 or $2 respectively. With my models, you can average at least $400 a month trading only one Micro E-mini contract on a part-time basis. These micros also provide a good opportunity to scale in and scale out, buying or selling a few micros at a time to minimize losses and maximize profits. They can also be used as a relative inexpensive hedge against other positions. Micros give you low-cost flexibility. I have a section in my book focusing on developing a money management plan for traders who want to start slowly and systematically create wealth. Everything you need to create wealth is in this book, no matter what stage you are in as a trader. I wanted to switch to a chart for those of you who might not be familiar with it. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I do that in the other videos, but I wanted to show you how this works with some of the latest data. I don't know if you're familiar with my charting, but I just briefly explain this. In December, we had a very atypical month because it's usually a very strong month, considering the market being ready for Christmas and so on. But as you see up here, I'll start with, I'm on December 3rd. There's a doji up here, which at the top of a trend, a kind of a new high, usually means it might be reversing. And indeed it does here on the next day. Then we have a medium day here. Now here it starts to go down. And whenever you have something crossing the pink line, which is the 3x, and the blue line, which is the 9x, and you get consecutive negative ones where it opens and moves lower, you sell, you go short. And so here we're about 27.02, and until it goes above the blue line here, the 9x, closes there and opens and moves higher the next day. Until it does that, you stay with the trade. So you can see we keep on going down. And now we're at Christmas Eve here on the 24th. And now the next day it starts up. There's a difference between buying and selling and taking profits. Here you get the feeling that it's starting to move the other way. And then we go to the next day, and now if you look down here, the stochastic is about a 45-degree uptrend, which suggests a turn in the market as well. So you would want to close your position in here and wait for a buy signal. So you would close it somewhere here, because you've had a pretty good run. You made several $1,000s. Well, that's a regular E-mini. You would still make a good profit with the micros. Now we wait till we get over here, and now it has to close above if we're going to get in an uptrend, and then open and move higher the next day. And this is what happens here on January 7th. So now look what happens. These are the things you wait for to get some real nice trading experiences that are very profitable. So you would buy here at about 25.37. Now look, it doesn't close below the blue line and open lower the next day. It closes on it a little bit, but it doesn't turn negative. It just keeps going. And we're up, I don't know, almost 200 points or something here. $10,000 with the regular ES and be $1,000 with the micro. That's in a span of, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks. So now we're starting to top out here, and then it goes back down, so here you would get out of the market. Here's another entry signal right here on March 12th. It runs 27.92 up until it starts to go down here. And so here you've got maybe 150 points or something like that, another 6,000, 7,000 or 6,700. And here's another run up. You wait until it gets to this position on April 1st, and then it continues to run. It doesn't close below and move below the Dynex line. This is all in the book. I'm just giving a quick summary here on some of the latest data. And as it turns here, you'd want to get out somewhere in this area. And I give you more descriptions about the difference between buying and selling and closing, taking profits, covering shorts, and so on. It's part art and part science, but the candlesticks help you determine that. Now here we have another position where you got a nice run up, but it gaps way down here on the open. That's a bad sign. And if you look down below, see the stochastic here moving down sharply? That's support for that. Back over here, it moved down where we got out of the market, then here it turned to move back up as the market climbed. All of those things come together. So you would get out here and wait for another entry, and you could do it again about in here someplace, May 23rd or so. I'm kind of speeding through this because it gets to be a little redundant. And it goes down here. This is a kind of a spinning top candle, which is an indecision candle. And if it opens strongly higher the next day, you probably want to sell here and take your profits. Now it closes above the 9 here and opens and moves higher the next day. So you could buy again here at 28.13. And now look at it climb one more time. We're up to 29.20, so it's over 100 points. This is $5,000 with the ES in 2 weeks or most, and 500 with the Micro E-mini. And the rest of this I talk about on the other videos, and I go through some detailed explanation in the book. So I just encourage you to buy the book and take a look. I've added a lot of material in there to help the beginning trader and given you some models and clear ideas about how you can slowly and safely build your account and start to make real money for yourself. Hope you enjoyed it, and also you see the I have see the address for a blog account that I have, and that can link you up to an email where you can send me some questions if you have them. So enjoy your trading and come along for the ride.